I'm very glad to be able to take part in this celebration in St. Louis on Human Rights Day. Ever since the Declaration of Human Rights, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, was passed in Paris in 1948 on December the 10th, we have fostered the observance of this day not only in the United States, but throughout the world. The object is to make people everywhere conscious of the importance of human rights and freedoms. The reason for that is that these are spoken of and emphasized in the Charter of the United Nations, and the Declaration was written to elaborate the rights already mentioned in the Charter, and to emphasize also for all of us the fact that the building of human rights would be one of the foundation stones on which we would build in the world an atmosphere in which peace could grow.
Human beings are born free. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. I think we're going to focus on the first part of that because the second part is kind of vague and a little bit poetic. But the idea that all human beings are born free, I think I can get behind that. I can't think of any counter examples of that I like. I think it's fine for now to focus on humans. Equal in dignity. Dignity is not a particularly well-defined term. I suggest we discard it because it's pretty much meaningless. If somebody were to try and build something concrete on top of a notion of dignity, then we can have a conversation. But in this wording, I see it as meaningless fluff. And then on the idea of all human beings are born equal in rights, I think the best exceptions I can find to that, or the best shortcomings in this phrasing, however you want to think about it, is the notion of people who are citizens having more rights in the place where they have citizens. I'm comfortable with that. And so I would say that has to be a limit on Article 1 for it to be acceptable. I believe that nations, if they want to have citizenship, and I like the idea of citizenship, although maybe if we lived in a different world that were very differently arranged, I'd be comfortable with it not being there. But in the world we live in now, I like the idea of citizenships and nations being primarily interested in the well-being of their citizens. I think that having citizens have more rights is fine, natural, and normal.
Peter, and I was just looking it up the other day, and Article 1 states all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They're endowed with reason and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. I mean, do you fundamentally agree with that, or would you put it a different way, or would you say, no, I don't think that's quite how it works?
It depends how we're supposed to take this, right? If we're supposed to take this as a kind of ringing declaration of things that we want to put out there and hold up in some way as a general principle, then I don't really have an objection to it. It may do quite a lot of good. But if we were to think of it as philosophers and to take it carefully and go through it word by word and analyze it, then I don't think that it is actually right. And also, of course, it is, as you say, a declaration of human rights, and as such, it tends to exclude it does exclude non-human animals. and claims that all humans have dignity tend to imply that non-humans don't have the same kind of dignity that humans do, and I think that's not defensible either. Perhaps we should look at this term dignity for a start and say all humans are supposed to have this, whatever it means, right? So all humans includes those who are, let's say, anencephalics, right? An anencephalic is an infant born with only brain stem, essentially with no cortex, with no capacity for consciousness. An anencephalic will not smile at his or her mother, won't recognize his or her mother, presumably is not capable of experiencing or feeling anything at all. But that is a human being, same chromosomes and so on. Now compare that with a chimpanzee or a horse, or choose your favorite non-human animal if you like. Why should we think that this human who can have no experiences has more dignity than the chimpanzee or the horse or the dog, who can respond in so many complex ways to their environment?
So essentially you would contest the statement, quite simply, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. There
because
are some
of the all, yes, that's right. There are exceptions.
And there are exceptions to that, and so in the sense that you couldn't, philosophically speaking, put your name to that kind of a declaration.